We are recording episode 5.
Episode 5.
5.
Not 4.
Not
or
4.
3. Definitely not 3.
So you
Let's
sure
not
this
make
is
that
5?
mistake again.
This is 5.
This is 5.
Okay.
It's definitely not 3.
So
I know
you
that.
waited till 5 to get to me on here? What is wrong with
Well,
you two?
you were busy.
I was.
You were busy as
I was
shit.
working. I'm sorry.
God,
I have to pay
how
bills.
dare you?
I have to pay bills and
Can't
run a
come
fucking
hang-
nightclub. I'm sorry.
Can't come hang out with
Yeah.
podcasters.
I mean, do you have
Jeez.
bills to pay other than haunted house stuff? That's
Damn.
ridiculous, man.
100%.
So, hi, how are you?
I'm doing
Who
good.
are you? I have no idea who you are. I've
Oh,
never
really?
met you in my entire life.
Really now. My name's PJ. Karan Morose. I am an actor at Fear Complex here.
Nice.
And I am house runner technically and lead character here.
Yeah, nice. How long have you been playing Quran? Just since you've been here at Fear
Well,
Complex? or-
Quran has always been a thing since I want to say back in 2011. Just didn't have a name, so my characters always had the same type of feel to it and everything like that. So I started talking or started doing Quran officially in 2019 when I was in the elevator at Haunted Minds.
Okay. And then what does Quran do? What is his backstory? Is he just kind of like a big demon that stands there, or does he have he got a goal in mind?
Well, the character is based off of Greek mythology. It's Quran, the ferryman of the dead. So he is on a boat. You finally die. You come see him. You pay him, and he takes you across the river Styx. So I was like, okay, I like that idea. I'm gonna bring that to my stuff.
Great.
And originally, Quran wasn't really a demon. He was just a mad person. He had coins on his face and everything like that.
I remember that look.
Yeah.
That was special.
Yeah.
That look was hard to do, especially when the makeup person almost pokes you in the eye with scissors. That shit was amazing. Oh,
You don't need an eye.
yeah,
You
go
just
that.
hang it out and just
Yeah.
be part of the costume.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They figured boat pirate. You know.
Yeah.
boat pirate. Yeah. I've heard boat pirate, ferry pirate, a ferry. I've heard them all. But no, I was in the elevator, so I would have a monologue speaking part. So I was I'm one of the first people that you see coming into Haunted Minds. And I did my whole routine. I got you for a minute and a half. So pretty much I'm about to scare the shit out of you. That's
Nice.
my job. And then I'm going to let you go and let all the other monsters get you.
Right.
And then it just, I wanted to add horns. So I had some small horns I added first. And then I just kept adding to it to now I have dreads, these big red horns. I got these cool ass claws now. I have wings, 10-foot wingspan.
Yeah, I've seen those
goat legs.
just recently. Those are pretty amazing.
I'm still trying to learn how to walk on these stilts that make me look like I have actual goat legs. I have all kinds of stuff, man, that I'm doing with that character. I spent so much money.
Yeah, just since I've seen you start the character and then to now, just recently, the evolution is absolutely amazing. Just the way the horns have grown, like you said, the horns have grown. The wings now they extend out to about 10-foot wingspan.
10-foot wingspan.
Yeah, I've seen him at a convention center, and that was show stopping. Like people literally stopped and were like, "Did they just move?" And he's like, "Yeah, they move." And he's got them up and down and stuff. And it was great.
Oh, man. I hit so many people. Main person I've hit multiple times, her name is Rainbow Twitch. I hit her so many times by mistake.
Damn.
Sweet Pea, I've hit plenty of times. There's even a video of me doing, what's that dance called?
Crap, now I
Wobble?
forget. Yeah, the wobble.
With the wings just shaking
Yep.
everywhere.
That was kind of funny to watch.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
like
sure.
a gaggle of clowns and one giant demon,
demon.
and it just everybody was wobbling. It was
That's
great.
awesome. Yeah. I'm sure having a 10-foot wingspan, it's hard. You're like, yeah, I could definitely fit through this doorway. Bunk.
So many
Bump.
times I'm doing this, or I forget that they're on. And I just boom, like I'm about to break either the wings or myself.
There was a couple of times where we were walking back to like the little break room area, and they've got it all like curtained off, and you'd have to like
I have to
spin sideways and walk, like wiggle through. And like the one time we forgot, knocked over like 4 of the big cardboard cutout things that they had set up. We're like, sorry, demon coming through.
Watch your table.
Right?
I knocked over merch through that convention. But they loved it. That's the thing. They said, "Oh no, you're good. You're good. You look amazing." I'm like, I just knocked over like half your table. I'm sorry. Did I break it? If I broke it, I'll buy it. I don't want it, but I'll buy it. Like,
They're like, no.
oh man, that was a fun time.
That was a real good fun time. So what was that convention for? What
It was I got an invite from Scurryface because I was in a competition, and they invited a lot of us to go to OKC to their HorrorCon. And that's where I got to meet a lot of amazing actors and people. Just that whole weekend was just amazing.
Nice.
And it was like shout out to Gigs and everybody, you know. But
Nightfall Haunted Territory.
Yeah, you
for
know.
hosting the event.
that was and that pig roast. Oh, that his mother did.
Yeah.
I took all that back home and I ate every single bit of it.
That stuff.
That whole 2 bags full of just
Yeah.
roasted pig. Oh,
Sounds good.
Yeah,
Roasted pork is so good.
Gig's family makes a roasted pork every year for the Scary Face group that comes out.
Oh,
All
cool.
the reps and stuff that come out and all their guests. And when we came out last year, we got invited. When we got announced as a rep, we went out and they had it, and it was absolutely amazing. So the whole time I was telling him about it on the way out there, and he's like, "Man, I don't know if it's gonna be that good." And as soon as we got there, we ate it. He was like, "Oh well, it's pretty good." We walked out with what, like 4 bags of leftovers.
I ate that pig cold. Like he said, you can heat it up. We got microwaves. Nah, it's too late.
Nope.
I'm already started. And I'm not. Nope. And the first time he actually heating it warm was at home. Like, I got home, I dropped everybody off, and I was like, all right, put some on the plate, put it in the microwave, heat it up. I'm like, he was right. It tastes even better fucking warm. Like, Jesus Christ.
So you said Quran's been around since 2011. Is that when you started haunting, or did you start a little before that?
That's when technically I started before that, because I remember helping out at a little not a home haunt, it was like a church haunt. Like a while back when I was a kid. It was I think it was in Alabama, Fort McKellen, before they closed that down.
Yeah.
So I was there. I did that as a kid, but my official, 2011 was at Columbia, South Carolina. It was Hall of Horrors. That was the first time I've ever actually put on a costume and got the scare. And I was Spirit in a Curtain #1.
Spirit in a Curtain #1.
That sounds like your generic zombie number 1.
Like I was in the first room with the main actor. He had a whole monologue speaking part and everything like that. So I was in there talking to him, and then he was like, "Okay, I'm learning his part while I'm waiting." All I had to do is when he says Spirit, I flip a switch and it turns on all the lights, or like the candle lights. And he says, "Kill them," and I burst out through the curtain.
Nice.
And I add crazy, psychotic, like I want to eat them. I even started carrying a sledgehammer, and that's where I got it from my other character. Because I was dead arming a sledgehammer like that. And
wow.
Like chasing people, and then they let me go outside into the line and start messing with people because it was the first room, so I was right there.
Right.
And then one time he got the main character couldn't make it for a week because he had other plans, and he was trying to find somebody to do it. Do they know the lines? I was like, I do. I've been in his for the whole season. Like I know word for word, and I just spit it out right in front of him. He's like, get him in makeup. So it was like went from Spirit in the Curtain to a voodoo witch doctor who brought back the soul of Abigail Harris. And
Abigail Harris.
Yep. And I did the whole thing for that whole week, and man, it was amazing.
Huh. That sounds interesting as hell.
Yeah. It was a casual curtain
ghost number 1. I love that shit.
For a year, I was casual business zombie #1.
Oh, nice.
And if you ask Andrew Stroman about it, I think he did makeup at the time. So he started calling me because I was like a zombie and had like a business casual suit on. And I was the first scare in the haunt, like, in Hellscream when you go in there and then you go down the hallway. Well, they had a hallway chaser at that time. I was a hallway chaser. Oh, wow. So they would tell them the rules. I'd be like banging on the door and being crazy, and then open the door and I'd chase them down the hallway and around into the first room. And yeah, I was casual business zombie #1.
I love the description of some of these characters that are on like acting, like when you go to the casting calls and you see all the list of what they have, and it's like zombie A, and you're like, how do you get into that character? Like zombie A.
Oh, I've been in this.
Zombie A.
Yeah, like how do you act as zombie A? Just
I am zombie Y.
Right? Like
just walk chasing people like this. Yeah. You're part of the village people now. Just YMCA. That's all you gotta do.
I think that's the one part of the training that I do like about here is when we do the animals / zombie training where we mix an animal and zombie just to see some people's combinations.
It is so weird. I think mine was deer and a zombie, and I was like, "How do you be a deer zombie?"
I have been a cheetah zombie every freaking year I have applied at this place. Since I've been in Hellscream Haunt, I have gotten a cheetah zombie every single year for those training, and I'm done. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to pretend to be a different animal.
Yeah,
'cause I'm tired of cheetahs.
Saturday, I think I got walrus, and I was like,
How the hell?
I don't even know the sound that a walrus makes.
Just flop on the fucking.
Yeah, I was like,
My first time doing it was turkey. And then
Now
the
that
second
one
time
might be
doing it was
interesting.
deer. That was 2019, 2020,
Yeah, just oh dear.
2021. What was it? I didn't do it 2021 because I was at work.
You were out.
Yeah, I was out work and I couldn't do it. But no, the first 2 times, it was weird. I'm like, how do you become a turkey zombie? Or
The
deer
faces
zombie?
people make when they get their card too, and they're like, and you're like, oh yeah, you got a cool one.
especially
Immediately, you're like, you got an interesting ass
Every-
animal.
or the watch the brains turn of like the newer actors that
Yeah.
do that training. They're like,
What am I? What?
How am I? Is this how you supposed to do it?
Am I supposed to be the animal or the zombie? I don't understand.
Yeah.
And you're like both.
Both.
At the same time.
Combined.
yeah,
If that animal, you know, and then,
Man, I get why they do it. It's
Yeah.
to see what their range is. Like, if you can just you read and be like, okay, and you just automatically do it. Then they like, okay, I can put you in like a more serious type role.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you're like timid around, it's like, okay, we might have to work with you a little.
you might
bit,
be a victim.
but you can be.
Yeah.
You can get there. You can get
right,
there.
right.
yeah. Also, with some of the animals, you might be able to find out who the aggressors versus victim
Yes.
characters
That's-
are, because there's
fair.
a lot of haunt actors that can't be aggressive.
Yes.
That's just human
part
nature.
of it.
Some people can't do it, and like I can't be a really good victim. I'm terrible at it. I just stop, no, please, and it sounds so corny, and people are like, "That's not a victim." And
You're
Just
like,
add Wizzo to the victim.
yeah, you're just like, no, and they're like, "What are you doing? That's not."
stop pulling out all my beard hairs.
Yeah, please stop. Do it again.
I mean, it's always weird being victims, especially you big as hell.
Yeah.
Like all of us are tall, so it's like, how am I gonna be a victim with somebody that short?
Nah,
Like
But I've seen some of the smallest people be some of the biggest scares in our homes.
ideal time.
Maria
Maria,
in
Dolores.
Fear Complex.
Yeah,
She is-
ideal time. So you need to get a really tall person, and then we need to hire a bunch of short people.
Yeah.
and then have like 3 or 4 short people attack the big person.
Yes.
in front of.
We got enough short people here.
yeah,
So-
so you're like fighting them off.
I remember last year.
I'll volunteer as tribute to fight the little people.
Remember when Dolores asked us last year? She asked me, you, Sean, and I think you, and Andrew Sturman. She was like, "How do I get big when I'm so tiny?" You know, and I was like, "Just walk into the room like you own the whole fucking
Presence.
place.
You
Just
don't even have
bam,
to do
I own
that."
this bitch." And she did it, and I
Yeah.
watched her do it that first time, and it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen because she walked into that area and owned everyone there, and I was like,
Nice.
"All right, there you go."
Nice.
And she just owned it. It was great. And it can happen. I mean,
you don't have
I've
to-
seen some small people
That's-
wielding chainsaws
Yeah, you
before,
do-
and they're terrifying. and I'm like,
half the battle is just trying to own it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, just be about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
yeah, if
don't-
you're gonna be a monster, be the monster.
yeah,
Don't-
exactly.
Don't be a timid. No.
It's,
I'm a shy zombie.
it
Yeah.
comes out. It comes
Rawr.
down to it. It comes down to it. You just got to get out your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Especially when you're acting. You're acting. You're that person. Like I tell a lot of people, a lot of people ask me, how do I get in Quran? And I'm like, Quran is part of me.
Yeah.
Like, when me and him are just talking, we'll go in and out of character and not even realize it.
Yeah.
Like-
Wizzos and Quran voices are out. We do it at the bar sometimes,
do it at
and
the-
customers
oh,
are looking at us
hilarious.
like, "What
No.
the fuck are you two talking
The
about?"
best part is when it's me, Wizzo, and Dolores. We're out and about, just like in the mall or something, and we lose Dolores. Dolores hates this, but me and her will start calling
Oh,
Dolores in
man.
haunt character in front of everybody. She comes running. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
boys, where you at?
We should
We
like,
cannot find you. Where are you?
should all
Out
get
loud.
dressed up in costume and like film it.
Where it's like a scavenger hunt for one monster. and
so
we're all just
so we can
screaming
put it on
for
our
'em.
YouTube channel. You know,
There you go.
Hey.
I think that.
Me and you go hunt monsters down with like the little. Have you seen this monster?
Yeah,
Just have it like when you finally feel them, they like deer in the headlights, and then they just take off and
Yeah.
just run after them.
start interviewing random people. Like, have you heard about nibbles?
They're like,
Have
"What?"
you seen this monster?
No.
That would be
Yes,
amazing.
actually, I have. She just ran down that way. Oh, okay, hold on. She's dangerous. Run away.
Yeah, that would be great if y'all did that. Oh man, that would be
Man.
funny as hell.
I think we need to set that up for right after haunt season. Talk to a couple of the local grocery stores or something, see if they're down to let us play in there.
Do it like in the morning or
Yeah. Just be like, when is the least busy for you guys that we can do this and not like cause absolute chaos?
panic.
Or maybe they want absolute chaos.
Yeah. I
'Cause,
mean,
that could be part of the fun, you know.
that could be good
It's
business.
just
like
because people aren't expecting it, and you
We'll
just
go-
walk up to someone random. Have you seen this monster, sir? You're like,
We'll go find some like mom and pop shops. They're usually down for stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
a comic book store
oh
or
yeah,
something like
that'd
that.
be cool.
They're usually
yeah.
pretty good with that stuff. That'd
They-
be fun.
Like, yeah, she's over there reading Spider-Man.
I was thinking that we should take all the monsters and go play like putt-putt or something.
Yeah,
You know, like set up a
down.
whole day to where we go and have like maybe like a tournament, like not a tournament, but somewhere where like the customers come in, they buy a ticket and they get paired with a monster. And then whatever their score is at the end of the day, the place would take all the scores and the high scores would get like a ticket to the haunt or something, you know,
Oh,
like we
yeah.
partner with them. You know, just something stupid. I think that'd be
And
kind
just
of fun.
videotape it.
Yeah, and then we video it.
Yeah.
We could put it all on the social media stuff. I think that'd be good
I mean,
for
there's
like,
a
the
lot of
community.
people.
right.
There's a lot of people for both haunts that would love to
Yeah,
do that.
it would
Like,
help build the characters a little
Yeah.
bit because then they could stay in character the whole day.
I know
and
You
you
can
can
call
do-
it a team building.
Yeah,
In
team
Denver,
builder.
there's it's called Monster Golf.
Oh, really?
And it's an indoor miniature golf course, and it's all based on like old school monsters. So there's
wow,
like
really?
Frankenstein and werewolf and the creature from the Black Lagoon. And
Huh.
it's in Denver. It's glow in the dark too, and it's indoors. So,
Really?
Shout out to them, if they're watching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Sponsor.
Just,
I mean, we're a whole haunted house. We do weird stuff.
Exactly.
so yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be
people
real
into
cool.
that stuff. And there's some crazy miniature golf courses out there.
Oh
That's
yeah.
for sure. I just watched a video on the one that is all like electronic, and so there's like sensors in the ball too, and so your
Oh,
score
wow.
changes depending
so
on
it
where.
actually reads your score. That's
Right, so the
crazy.
score changes depending on like where your ball goes, and there's like hazards, and if you hit
No
certain stuff,
way.
your score's reduced, and
That's amazing.
I like that.
yeah, I was like, that's a pretty cool
There's
idea.
no cheating.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah. Colorado Springs is looking for something like that.
Yeah.
So back to haunt things.
Just went on a tangent. real quick.
Right?
Hey, monsters love to play mini golf.
There you go.
So, is there any characters that you've wanted to play that you've never had a chance to? Like I know you've got Callisto, your clown. You've got a biker clown. You've got Riptide, the post-apocalyptic time traveler, and then you've got Karan. Is there anything that you've wanted to play that just seems
You
like
forgot
really?
about Jibs.
Oh yeah,
Come on now.
Jibs, the hillbilly.
on now.
Man, he's Ralph's partner.
But
in
somebody
crime.
keeps stealing my overalls for that. Yeah, so I could never use him during the haunt season.
What are you look at me for?
But no, but character wise,
Yeah, just like
I mean, I've done almost everything that I did. The chainsaw thing, that wasn't for me. I mean, I loved it chasing people down there, but that's just not my scare.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
something I can do it. It's people who could do it way better than me. And this way. But no, I've done the victim thing. I've done I was in a hospital haunt in Arizona that I was a victim. I was covered in all wrapped up and stuff,
Right.
sitting right next to this animatronic. So I act like the animatronic was messing with me. And then I'll hit a button secretly when somebody's coming and it shoots right out at the people that was
shit.
walking right past. So I was just acting like I was dead and like
Right.
twitching and everything. And then I hit the button and then it shoots right past me and straight at them.
oh damn.
So I love that part. I was in one of those little spiral tunnel
the
things
vortex tunnels.
with the smoke going through it and everything. So I could go in and out. I was in a laser one that you
Oh,
can't
wow.
see me, but I pop up and then I'm right between your group.
Like the fog at the bottom
Yeah.
and then the laser. Oh, those are the
I've
best.
done that. I've done line acting. I've done monologue speaking parts. I've been doing this for a while, and I switched. But right now, I like being one of those talkative, like Karan talks so fucking much,
Right.
and it's crazy. And so I do that a lot, and especially when I'm in a line talking to people, reacting, I'm good at like improving. Like
Right.
I'll go off with people,
Yeah.
and they'll hit me up, and like they'll say something real funny, and I'm like, oh, I can switch that, and I'll just get them. It's like come after them, come after this person, and run around. So I like that, but trying to do something. I've done everything, man. It's just like I've done everything I wanted to do. So, I mean, I even went to the management side and then started fixing things, and then came back to now I'm back to acting and stuff. So it's like,
Yeah.
I've tried.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah,
Just
I've
trying to
tried
do a little
everything,
bit of
man.
everything.
Yeah.
I like that. That's what I try to do. I mean, I've been a slider. I've been a line actor. I've been a.
There you go. You said it. Slider. There we go.
Yep.
I've never done that. Like, I always wanted to do that, but my knees.
That was
I'm
something.
too old for that now.
Yeah, right. Like my left knee, I was gonna slide this year again, just like here and there, just like do little pop up stuff. But my knee is so bad now, and I'm like, nah, I
had
did
to get,
enough
like,
of that in my early
Special
years.
brace. Just
Yeah,
just
I was
to
like,
reinforce.
there's too many things that I gotta buy
You
just to
need the
be safe.
stats on like injuries, like people sent to the hospital from injury every year.
Man,
I'm on that
God.
list every.
I think I have
Season.
I've
Yeah.
got a traumatic brain injury at least every season. I remember messaging him every weekend. I'm like, hey, I got a new one. He's like, yep, all right.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's
All
like,
right,
can
right.
you remember who you are? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. Cool.
Right,
He's like,
right.
all right, good. We don't
Yeah, I
need to go
think
to
the
the
worst that
hospital.
happened to me is I ran into a door frame at
Yeah.
like full clip, knee first. I used to not wear knee pads, and that changed after. I had it hurt to walk
Okay.
for like a week. I had a bruise the size of a softball on my knee. So I
Damn.
ran into a door frame. Bam! I'm pretty sure the people in front of me heard it too.
Oh, damn.
I just walked it off like
Longest
nothing
part is the
happened.
scare.
Didn't even
I didn't do it. I
Yeah.
didn't do it.
So it was fine, but I was like, son of a bitch.
No, I think the worst one for me, I got really lucky. It was out in the line when I was riptide all season last year, and I had, like I said, I have a sledgehammer that has sparks on it, so I'm dragging it and it's sparking behind me, scaring people. Well, I jumped at somebody, jumped the fence, went like this, and it slammed on my foot. But I got lucky because I was wearing steel toes.
Oh,
So it
but still.
dented the steel toes, and I was like, I felt it just
God.
press on my foot, and I was like, oh, that hurt. Played it off, still started running after the person, but when I got back inside and went into the little break area, I was like, I need to take this boot off, and I was like, holy, it got like an indent of where that the steel toe went in.
Damn.
So I was like, I got lucky because if I was not wearing steel toes, I would have not had my foot right now.
Yeah, you have
It would have
broken foot.
crushed it completely.
Yeah.
I think my worst one didn't even happen at the haunt. It was pre-haunt. I was putting blood and makeup on, and I was getting everything on, and I had my thick blood, and I was putting it on, and I went to dry it because we were running out of time. We had to leave, so I went to dry it, and I was using my door as a fan. So I had my head down, and I'm blowing the door, and it fucking smashed me in my head and like split my head open, and I immediately like blacked out for a second, like seen stars, and I started getting real dizzy. And Dolores was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, well." And she's like, "Well, you're bleeding." I'm like, "No, that's the fake blood." And she was like, "No, you're really bleeding." And I'm like, "No, it's really fake blood." And we argued for like a good 20 minutes about it being fake and real blood. And finally she was like, "No, look," and like wiped it away, and it was real blood. And I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh shit." So I like super glued it real quick and went to the haunt, and I was like real dizzy, real lightheaded all night. So I told Jesse, I was like, "Man, I got to take it easy tonight. I like destroyed my forehead this morning." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "Never mind. I was trying to dry my blood. It was a bad day." Yeah, that was probably my worst one, other than eating one of the planters at an amusement park. When I was sliding, I hit a rock.
Oh, wow.
I was sliding, and I hit it with my knee, and I came straight forward. I didn't have time to like react with hands or nothing, and just ate half that damn planter. I was like, "Oh,
Damn.
It was terrible, terrible
Man,
time."
That just sounds painful.
Sounds awful.
So we mentioned Scurryface earlier too, in the competition. So Scurryface.com is a shout out to you guys. Hey, how you doing?
Shout out to him.
Colorado rep right here. Thank you. We had a competition. Scurryface has a competition every year for scare actors around the globe, and it's not just the United States. It is globally sponsored. So we have reps in Scotland, China, or Japan, Scotland, Italy, Australia. I want to say Canada, and the United States is heavy with reps. But we had a competition at the end of last haunt season around November, December timeframe is when they started it. And it ran through for a couple months, and so how was that being a part of that, and with a bunch of your haunters here at Fear Complex and Hellscream?
Yeah, we had what, 11?
Yeah,
in
there was
total?
11 total Colorado,
That was
Colorado
from Hellscream
haunters.
Entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For both haunts that we joined. It was for me. It was a 6 months process. I ended up winning the whole thing,
yeah.
which
How'd that feel?
Completely shocking. Like
Yeah.
that I actually won because it's my first year entering. And I'm like, when I first enter, I'm like, I'm gonna get to like maybe the first. I might not get out first round, maybe the second, and then I just kept going. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm actually going farther and further. And then the further I got, the more people started messaging me, and I getting to know all these actors. And then they kept calling me KK Ron, or one of the hosts
that
of
was
Scary
great.
Face calls me Karen all the time. Shout out to y'all, you know. But winning the whole thing was wild to me because I didn't expect it.
Yeah.
I was going up against I went up against my little sister Shriek, went up against my brother Wizzo in the final four, and it was all love because
It's family going up against each other at that point.
We both wanted to win, but it was like whoever wins, we're gonna back them regardless.
Right.
Like if I would have lost, I would have been backing him completely.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Like this
he
whole
backed me.
The whole thing was crazy. We had Shriek versus Sweet Pea at the beginning, and then later was you versus Shriek, and then even further in that final four was me versus you. So like three times we had Fear Complex and
Going against each
Hellscream
other.
going against each other. It was great.
crazy.
It was so much fun. Like the
in the end-
messages back and forth between us all,
And then at the end, it was like, the final four. 50% of the final four was Hellscream Entertainment.
and
So
we
it was
happened
like-
to go against each other.
Out of what, 150?
We had 115, I think. We started with 115.
15.
Wow.
And then it wound up, I think, the Voodoo Queen and Shriek both made it to the top 13, I believe, top 12, I believe, or right around the top
Top
20.
30.
Yeah, the top 30. Shriek moved on to the top 13, I think. Me and him made it to the top 4, and he wound up winning the whole thing. So I mean,
Nice.
we had a very big presence coming into the final 4. I think I had the highest vote count coming out. So I mean, Colorado was repping hard, and that's just not for me and him.
And
that
I
was
broke-
every one of us. Sweet Pea, the Voodoo
Right.
Queen,
I
Portera.
think we have all the half the records now.
Yeah.
Because I know Voodoo Queen.
So
the Voodoo Queen got
the
the
Voodoo
first
Queen's
one.
got first round.
You got third.
I've got the third round.
Yeah.
I got
You-
fifth
you
in
got
the last
fifth
round.
Shriek had the fourth round.
She had the fourth
until
round.
that got broke this year, but she
And I
had
got the
that.
seventh. The final round. So I have two. You have one. The
Voodoo
Voodoo
Queen's
Queen
got
has
one.
one. And out of
Shriek,
seven.
Shriek was holding them up all last year. She had like 2 or 3 records.
And then the last
year.
couple, we would have broke, either Shriek or me would have broke it.
Yep.
And then on the final 4, we would have broke it, but we were going against each other.
Oh.
Yeah, like the
So-
record thing was crazy.
We would've had
like, watching
all-
them numbers go, and
I
I'm
think
like,
we would have had all of them except for one.
Yeah.
If
Wow.
we would have not went against each other.
That's crazy.
yeah, there was a couple rounds where we were like, it was real close. Like I think me and him, we only split by like 9 votes.
9 votes.
You know,
Both-
in that final 4.
Final 4 and the finals.
yeah,
I won
you-
by 9 votes each.
You and
Wow.
Shriek, I
That's
think, were
crazy.
only separated by like 11 votes
Yeah,
or
11.
something stupid. I think
Right.
the
It was
one
close.
round, Sweet Pea was only like 15 votes away from Shriek.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, the whole competition was just crazy. But in general, the Scurry Face competition, what did it do for you as a haunter in general?
I got a lot more haunt friends now. Like I have so many now. Because usually when you're not in a competition like this, you're only friends with your haunt.
Yeah.
Right.
And maybe a sister haunt or a haunt down the street. You're only friends with those haunters. And now this competition had me networking with everybody. I'm friends with somebody from Scotland now.
Right.
I'm friends with people in Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina. Even though I'm from there, I got more friends from there. Virginia, Texas, Alabama. I got friends California. Shout out to Aka. She
yeah.
Yeah.
shit. I have friends all over just from this competition, and we network. We talk all the time. Like, I have this idea. Oh yeah, I like this idea. Try this. I want to add this to my character. Oh
Right.
yeah, do this. This. So it's like a family. It's like a bigger family now because of this competition.
Yeah, I had just posted something to the Hellscream actor page about
Yeah.
promo code for SFX prosthetics and things.
Right.
The promo code that actually came from another Scurry Face rep out
JD.
in South Carolina. Yeah,
Yeah.
JD
No, it was
Daniels.
JD. It was
Or
where's that?
he's
Virginia?
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
from Mississippi.
JD.
So I mean, I seen his thing the other day, and you know, again, we might not have ever had that opportunity for a discount code, you know,
Right,
and nobody might use it, and somebody might use it, you know.
Oh, I already
but
used it.
either way, that networking wasn't there before that it is now, you know.
Yeah.
And I think just in general, the whole competition, just joining and talking to people, you know, and just jumping on the streams every once in a while, or following your friend, and then you see the comments, and then you know you make more friends and more friends. And I think I jumped from like I had 199 friends at the beginning of the competition last year, and at the end of this year, I'm almost to like 700 followers.
Wow.
You know, and I'm like, all it was a stupid competition. Like,
Yeah.
not stupid. It was a good competition in the fact that it got a lot of people brought
some
together.
exposure
You
and
didn't.
stuff.
I didn't know about a lot of these characters, you know, that I had seen on Facebook and stuff and TikTok and whatever. And now I'm like friends with these guys, and I'm like, wait a minute, I was just following you for like 3 years ago. You know, like for the past 3 years, I've been following everything you've done, and now I'm buying yours. Like we're hanging out. Like,
Yeah.
Like I'm getting messages from people like I haven't even talked to before.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I don't know who this is. And I'll click on their page, it's their haunt character, and I'm like, oh, actually, I've been following you for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
And then
kinda-
I'm getting a message from you. Whoa, that's crazy. Like,
Right.
like
Yeah,
I
that's-
followed you. Now you're messaging me saying congratulations and stuff. I'm like,
That's awesome.
hell?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's like a whole community.
It's
You
so
know?
fun, and it's just a bunch of positivity. Everybody's trying to and it wasn't like this year seemed a little different than last year's competition. This year seemed a lot more positive as far as pushing each other.
Right.
It wasn't, oh, hey, I'm going to beat you and you're going to lose. It was, hey, you should probably win. And they're like, no, you should probably win. And it was a lot of trade-off. And I noticed a lot more sharing
Yeah.
Yeah.
of posts and things. Even if even we were going against each other, I still seen a lot of sharing between the characters, which was really cool. And I love seeing that, the haunt industry just
Yeah.
growing in general. And I've noticed,
there was a lot of stuff going on with that. Like we would go against each other. Yeah, it's all friendly, and then next round it's like, hey, you should go vote for this person.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
like I got knocked out, or I made it to the next round, but they did too. So hey, vote for them.
Yeah.
Vote for this
Right.
person. It's a lot of people that was saying vote for me, and I was like, oh, we went against each other a couple rounds ago,
Right.
and now they're backing me. I was
That's
like, whoa.
awesome.
And then
Yeah.
this competition, it had so many reps.
yeah.
I went up against a rep almost every single round, and I wasn't a rep, so it was like
Yeah, so how
they
was,
get that little nervous little thing going on.
so how was that? I know I felt it the first year where when I first joined, I wasn't a rep, and going up in that competition against the reps, to me it felt like, oh no, I'm definitely getting beat. Like every round, I was like, there ain't no way I'm beating these guys. They're known, you know, they're all
Right.
friends with each other. They're on social media. I've just built my character like 2 years ago, and he just started to gain like not even popularity, but
Right.
he just started to get like realized. I started to like fully realize him 2 years ago. So. And I noticed that it was kind of hard and disheartening sometimes where you see these people and you're like, oh, I'm going to lose.
It was more going up like the first round. I went up against Gigs,
Yeah.
and I was like, people were saying he just came back doing this. I was like, okay, I'm losing the first round, cool, but it made me push more,
Right.
Because I was like, okay, he's gonna get a lot of votes. If I don't push, I don't go out there and talk to people,
Right.
get them to vote for me, I'm gonna lose. So I came into it with that mindset. It was like, okay, I'm going against this person, this person, this person. They're all reps. This is not their first time doing this competition, so they know how to do it.
Right.
So I went into it. Was like, okay, I'm gonna bust my ass and go get get these votes. And then the results came out, and I ended up winning the first group. I was like, wait a minute, I might be able to do this, but man, we'll see. Next round, a bunch of reps again, and then I think the third round I went up against Vice, and she's the Scotland rep and well known. She scary face rep. Everybody loves her and stuff. And it was me and Sewer.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was three
Sewer.
of us. And I was like, dude, I have no chance. And then I'm like, okay, Sewer is first at this too, but he's rocking it. He
And
getting
Sewer was
votes and
actually,
stuff like that.
he was a character that was designed by an SFX company.
Yeah.
Oh,
They
wow.
made his entire costume from head to
Yeah.
toe and put him in that competition
Crazy.
to promote their
Promote their
stuff
stuff.
and him, you know, because he's doing good stuff
Right,
as that
right.
character. But of course, they're going to back him,
Yeah.
and we heard that, and like I even looked at him, and I was like, man,
I know, I was
he's
like,
got
I
a
need to
whole
push
ass
more.
company behind him. Like,
So I was like, going against them too. I was like, okay, only two get to go.
Right.
So I was like, I don't need to worry about winning it. I just need to get into the next round.
Yeah.
It's not a 1v1. It's the top 2 out of the 3 go. So I was like, the results came, and Scary Face, I hate y'all for this because y'all anxiety with all these little stuff to get the results. Like a key goes in the door and it slowly opens and shows the person.
Yeah.
And then when it did that, it showed Vice. I was like, okay, Vice won our group. That's cool. I still have a chance. And then it was just us two, and then it did the slow music, and then the pictures started blinking, and then
Yeah.
his disappeared, and mine kept going.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I made it to the next round barely.
Yeah.
And like I think I beat him by like less than 9.
yeah, it
votes.
was that one
It
was real close. That
Yeah.
whole group was super
Yeah,
close.
so I
It was
was
like
And that's when I
Tight,
realized
all three of them.
that's when I realized I need to bust my ass even more because I almost got knocked out.
Yeah.
So now I need to keep going. And shout out to Vice. We still gonna make those clown babies. But shout out to her.
Demon
'cause
clown babies.
She
Clown
beat me.
babies.
She's the
Yeah.
only one in the competition that beat me.
Oh wow.
Like I got first in every single round except for that round. I got
Yeah.
second.
Wow.
But I still made it. But she was the only one that beat me.
Yeah.
So shout out to her for that. But going against rep after rep after rep, it's intimidating. It's
Yeah.
very
Oh, I'm
intimidating.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
see, when all this was going on, I wasn't even paying. I was working so much my actual like real
Yeah.
life job. I was like, had barely any time.
Yeah.
So
And that's what it is. I mean, it's
It's
just a matter of if you have some extra time, and that's all.
Yeah.
And they do like a podcast at the end of the week.
That's cool.
You know, and then they do the results and things, and then they announce who's coming up next and all that good stuff. So I mean,
Right.
it's really good for haunters to. It kind of like what we're doing here, where we're interviewing the different people. They kind of do the same thing, where they
Right.
bring different guests on
Yeah.
sometimes and talk, and it's just a good community
Good
to be
time.
in. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
time to be a haunter, I think, in general,
Right.
just because I've noticed a lot more people are receptive to haunters when we're out in public. Like
Yeah.
when we went
Yeah.
out to Oklahoma for that horror con, the crowd this year versus last year was a lot better. Not saying that they were terrible that first year. The first year they were great, but this year was even better. You know, the kids were coming up to us. The parents were coming up to us. Can we get pictures? Can we, can my kid hug you?
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Okay. Yeah. I'm terrifying, but all right. Like, cool.
When the kids came, I always did this, especially when they're small kids. I'll be like, all right, stand in front of me. And I'm going to be looking down at you like I'm about to get you. And then I open up my wings.
Oh, that's
So it's
cool.
like a silhouette of my wings, me looking down like this.
They
about
came-
to grab them.
those
or
pictures
something.
were pretty cool.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see the rest of them. But
that's
kids, yeah, it was kids, adults. It was grown adults saying, man, I love your costume, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Do you have a Instagram? And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I do. You want it? Like,
Yeah.
it's new to me.
And I don't
was
know
like,
if it's-
you want it? Like,
And I don't know if it's the influx of like TV shows that are more like on the horror side, like the Twisted Metal series that's coming out is more
Yeah.
like horror based.
Yeah.
You know, and then like a lot of these series, like I know everybody's getting back into 13 Ghosts. They're starting to refine that movie
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Scream is always on
Always.
popular. Chucky's hitting
Chucky.
again.
Yeah, my favorite.
Your favorite.
what they do in the shadows.
Yeah, like it's just everywhere, and
yeah.
it's so big right now. And I think the younger generations that are coming up need to see that we do have haunted houses, and it's not just a thing for older
Right.
people.
Right.
Once we get them in young, like I met my best friend out at OKC, a little
Yeah.
8-year-old boy and his 10-year-old brother, two of the coolest kids on the planet.
Yeah,
and,
definitely,
And they
definitely.
are like molding their career, or their haunt career now.
Right.
Like they're starting to build characters and things, and I love seeing that. And I think that's what the haunt community needs is we're not just monsters and scary. We are humans. We do care. Like we have
Right.
normal jobs. Like I know some veterinarians. I know some nurses. I know
Right.
engineers. I know
I working
cooks.
at Jackson Engineering.
Yeah, like
Right.
yeah, like I used to be a safety coordinator at Amazon for a while. Like it just a wide variety of jobs
And
that
a bar
everybody has
manager.
had. Yeah. I work security at a bar now too. Like me and him worked at
Yeah.
bars. So like
I'm out there cooking food.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a cook. So like, there's so many things, and so we do get it. Like, we're not there to be terrible humans and just scream at you all day long.
No.
Like,
Not at all.
bring your kids, have them audition. You know, some
Yeah.
some haunts do have auditions for kids that are
Yeah.
under 18. Like,
Like where I currently work, one of the bartenders, she's like more of a stage actor.
Yeah.
You know, so I explain some of the stuff we do, and she just kind of like looks at me crazy. Like, I think it was yesterday. She goes, "How do they even have you audition for something like that?" And I was like, that's a really good question.
it's a great question.
What was it? The improv little, like our
Yeah.
first year was the,
We were all sat in a car.
Okay,
it was a
it
car,
was funny.
and you
Yeah.
had to like one guy was a cop, the other 4 were passengers.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
the
yeah.
funniest thing with that was with Jesse because they sat me in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
And then he was like, he looked and it was Diane, I think. And she was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" Jesse looked at me and I'm like, at the time I didn't know what we were doing.
Right.
And he was like, "I think you can handle it." And then I was like, "What was that about?" Okay, so you're gonna be driving, you got pulled over by a cop and a cop was gonna come, and I started laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what that pause was. Oh, they thought I was gonna Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm an actor. I'm not about to do that. So I did it properly and stuff. But they thought I was like, I don't think we should do this. I'm like, you're good. You're good. All
Yeah.
right. I'm not gonna go the route you think I'm gonna go.
Right. Yeah. That improv's like super important. And I was telling her, we do get a lot of drama kids and stuff
Yeah.
like that. We do drama in high
Drama,
school.
theater kid.
And
I'm a theater kid.
They some of them struggle with. They're like, "Oh, I can do whatever I want.
And their brain
You know?
explodes because it's too much freedom. And it's
Right.
like,
Yeah.
I have all these great ideas, but I can't put any of them into one little tiny spot. And you're like, okay, let's wrangle that in.
Yeah.
What are your 7 great ideas? All right, let's mold that into one and then put you in the scene,
Right,
you know?
Do-
And that's
do your
where
thing.
the older actors that have been around for 15, 20 years, you know,
Right.
even 10 years, we can kind of guide them a little bit and say, hey, you know, I too at one time had 100 fucking ideas for one room. Let's narrow this down, and I know you want to set things, so here's your A, B, and C spot. Now let's do something for A, B, and C in
Right,
case you're stuck in any of these spots.
I can't remember her name. I was talking to her on Saturday. She's going to be in the kitchen at Hellscream. And I was like, you should go learn some French cuisine words.
Chelsea
Yeah.
Emerson.
Yeah, and I was like, you should.
She's gonna be great in there.
Learn some French cuisine words.
That
to
would be
mess-
amazing.
So, you know, so then you could be like, tell them actual culinary terms.
But they
and
don't
then-
understand because it's another
It's in-
language.
yeah,
and,
it's in
and-
French.
and when you're coming through 1 to 2 minute
Yeah.
in a room, you ain't paying attention to what they're saying.
that-
You're like,
that's what
they're
I'm saying.
speaking.
They're speaking
tongues.
something. I don't know what they're speaking.
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
like
saying.
it.
So if you learn a little bit about French, you know, cuisine, and then they're like, this doesn't even make sense.
What was it, Dustin? Dustin up in the
Chapel.
The chapel.
He was speaking Japanese
He was
at
speaking
one
Japanese,
point?
but
Oh, really?
but it wasn't anything crazy. He was speaking the. I think it was. I want to say it was Metroid. We'll
Yeah.
have to ask him when he comes on the show.
Yeah.
But it was a video game language
Oh, cool.
dialect.
Yeah.
Or I think it was the Metro or the new Metroid dialect
Oh,
for the alien
nice.
race or
That's
something.
wow. That's
Sick.
what
And
it
he was speaking that whole thing. At one point, he was speaking the Japanese Pokemon theme song, and he was just saying it instead of singing it. And I'm like, dude, this is awesome.
That's awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're saying because I don't know it, but I know you know it, and that's amazing to me.
Right.
And he just the tone, he just
I
changed.
think
the
he
tone.
started that at Haunted Minds.
Yeah, over at Haunted Minds.
Yeah, back in 2021.
Yep.
Yeah, he started doing it there. And I think one point the Japanese part was he was saying Frieza's lines from
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, it was Dragon Ball
Something
Z
like that.
lines. It's
And I was
just the
like,
stuff
that
he comes
is
up with.
amazing. I love that idea.
Yeah,
That
when
is
people come up with
crazy.
weird stuff like that, it's just like, oh,
the
thank you
best.
for coming up with something weird. Like,
Exactly.
I thought it was cool to have like a Muppet Baby voice with my character Wizzo, and because he's more of an intimidating character, and then you hear him talk, and he sounds like something straight out of the Muppets and Sesame Street, and you're like, wait a minute,
Mine's the same way.
you know? Yeah,
Mine is it's not like Sesame Street type. Like Karan's voice is more because I'm so big,
Right.
And all
he's
that
more
stuff.
smooth.
And it's smooth
You know?
with it, and a lot of people say my voice irks them, like in a weird way. It like goes in their ears, and they don't know how to feel.
It reminds me of like that. And I don't want to mean it in a bad way, but it's like the sleazy demon in the movies. You know what I mean? Where he's kind of like
100%.
where he just says that one thing, and you're like, ooh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like it's not an off the wall topic that he's talking about, but the way
Way I
he
say
pronounces it, it's just like, ooh,
I don't like it. You make me
fuck are
feel
you saying?
awkward. I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. I've heard that in the line last year so
And see, I'm
much.
always doing running, so I never get that feedback from customers. I see them, they're gone, and I assume I make people uncomfortable. 'cause
you
I
do.
argue
I
with
hear
myself.
shit about what you're doing
Walking through your
upstairs.
haunt, yeah, I've seen
Yeah,
it
I mean,
plenty of
he's
times,
heard
definitely.
stories from you from
yeah.
when they come through here and they're still talking.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, wow.
The two-headed thing in your conversation between your different characters and your banana when you run through with a
when I was
banana.
Jumanji.
Yeah,
Jumanji.
like,
It's so stupid.
some of that
I
shit
like it.
is.
It was like Terry and some other folks gave me that. I was like, I don't know what my name is for my character. That they're like, we're gonna call you Jumanji. That's how that came to be.
That's
and then
crazy.
There's a video on my phone. I should like post it to Instagram or something like that. I was dressed up in that costume, and one of the girls, they wore a banana costume to Hellscream, and so where the queue line is,
Excellent.
I'm in a monkey costume chasing her around the queue line.
that
She's
is
dressed as a
great.
banana.
That's
It's
amazing.
So funny.
I'm glad
That's
she
great.
played along. You know.
Yeah, I think being able to do different voices really messes with people.
Yeah.
Especially when you like can contradict yourself.
Yeah.
People don't like that.
Or when you like do the double voice thing, like, or if you have the double voices, like Chris Hurst had been saying, like he changes his voice. I do that too, so it's like the
Right.
fun, happy Wizzo, and then I go into like the angry New York Bronx accent,
See, I do that with
and it's so drastic, and people are like, "Wait,
Right,
Is
yeah.
that the same person? Like who?"
I do that with Riptide.
Yeah.
Like, because I have a voice modulator. So I have a very high pitched robot voice that I do with him because Time Traveler, his voice box got messed up. So he has to use this to talk.
Right.
And then I'll switch through it. And it's so many different voices.
cool.
Like, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to mess with you a little bit. And then I'm like walking with him with a big sledgehammer. and then it's a high squeaky voice that says, "What are you doing?" And they start laughing. It was like, "Are you laughing at my voice?" And then I'll change it and get deeper and deeper while I'm talking to them. And they start getting creeped out. And then usually when I get them right next to one of the barrels back there, I'll slam the sledgehammer down on the barrel, so loud noise. I had one girl like panicking and start pissing herself last season.
So funny.
It was so. And then one of them, I had them pinned by the porta potty, and I pulled. She went into the porta potty. She started saying, "I'm not getting out. I'm not getting out." I grabbed a chair that was outside and sat right in front of it, and I just waited. And I started talking, and then I started switching my voice. I even started talking in Karan's voice to make it sound like another character was coming. Then I said, "Okay, I'm leaving." And I just stood to the side. She came out, and I scared her again. Boom, she slammed it back. It took a long time to get her out of that damn porta potty, and it was great, and she loved it. And her friends was dying laughing, and it was amazing.
Those are the best when you get them to like hide in a corner, or like, and they're just nope.
Definitely.
I'm not going nowhere. I'm not going nowhere. And you're like, I got all night. Like I really don't have anywhere else to be except right here.
I can stay right here. I'm not going anywhere.
And they're like, no, you have to go do stuff.
No, I
I'm like,
don't.
no, I don't.
Yeah.
And I had a radio, so I was like, "Hey, I'm taking my break, but I'm outside, okay?" There, I just told them that I'm taking a break, so I got all night. I love messing with people in the line. Oh, I'm gonna have so much fun this year. Asking Ron this year. Oh, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
So, what scare has been your absolute favorite out of all the years of haunting? Just like the one that has stuck with you the absolute most, either scared somebody so bad that they like, it was like their worst nightmare type of thing, or you scared somebody so bad that you both started laughing.
It was 2019. I was in the elevator, and the elevator broke, and we couldn't get it open. So I had customers in there for 10 minutes, and I was going nuts. I was scaring all of them. I had one girl shit herself, and they finally reset it while I was done, and they was shot out, and it just left a smell trail through the first part. And then I think it was Jeff or it was Rob who was like, "You good?" I'm good. Y'all gave me more time to play. Like, I had fun. Like, I don't know about them. They probably like completely terrified.
What is going on?
Right.
Like, why can't we move? Don't worry about that. No, you're with me now. See, I heard y'all. Y'all weren't really scared, so I turned it off. Now you're in here with me until I say so. So I was like, in my head, it's like, please hurry up. And then I was like, okay, I'm just going to straight improv it.
Yeah.
Forget my monologue. Forget everything. You are now my victims.
So you
I am
turn a
gonna make
bad
sure.
situation into a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Hell
there's
yeah.
certain stuff like
Part of
that
the
you
thing.
have to, because I can't say, oh, the elevator's broke. We're going to have to wait here. No.
Yeah, and you're
Entertain
just
it.
gonna stand there and look at them
No.
like do 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 do. Start
It'd have been-
singing an elevator song.
It's like, oh, you're stuck in a 50 people conga line. I'm just gonna stare at you.
Yeah, like no, give them something
No,
to
you
look
gotta,
at.
if you can't scare them, entertain them.
Exactly.
For them, they were
Yeah.
terrified, so it was like, it was entertaining for me.
Right. Yeah.
It's
But
like-
if I can't scare you, I'm gonna make you laugh.
Right.
Do
Yeah.
something stupid.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Yeah. I remember us running upstairs. I like to play Ring Around the Rosie with people.
Yes.
And there's certain times where I'll get like 10 people up against the wall in Hellscream. I'm like yelling at them, like, get against the wall. Like,
You trying to break up conga lines?
Yeah.
Or, like mine was, I was trying to break up. I do this, Simon Says.
oh, okay.
I was like, Simon Says do this. Simon Says do that. Okay, put your hands down. You lost. You lost an elementary school game. Okay, y'all can go on. And then they'll start moving. I didn't say Simon Says. So
Yeah.
all of you, they always lose. Because
Right.
when I say y'all can continue,
'Cause
I
there's
didn't
no
say
winning.
Simon. I never say Simon Says.
Right.
One girl, she stayed. She says, you didn't say Simon Says. Well, the game is over, so you can go. Oh, I was lying. See, now you just lost. See, I will find a way to win it.
Right.
But
yeah.
it gives me that they stopped right here.
Right.
The next group just kept going. And then I just broke up a conga line
Yeah.
while having fun, entertaining them. So now they didn't even realize that they were in a big ass line. So now I broke it up. Cool. Continue on.
And then
right.
sometimes I'll send them in a circle 2 or 3 times.
Oh.
Yeah.
And every time they come back around, I'm like, are you in the loony bin yet? This is the loony bin. This is my loony bin.
I love that.
Welcome.
Yeah, welcome.
Love
Would you
that.
like a lobotomy yet? They're buy one, get one free. Like,
Oh,
how many
yes,
do you
yes.
want? Do you feel
Yes.
crazy yet?
I love that.
Man.
Oh,
So much
I love
fun.
taking scenes that you don't think are going to be anything to and making them into something. It's just like you probably never expected to be in that damn elevator for 10 minutes.
No,
And
Right.
and then when you had that opportunity, you're like, well, let's build on it.
Yeah.
You know, and so also with that, was there any point in that 10 minutes that you were scaring that group that were obviously terrified that you kind of said, okay, this is too much that I have to tone back a little bit?
No.
Or
Not
was
at
it one of those situations where you started the scare and you noticed that it wasn't going to be too much, so you just kind of kept going?
No. When I started, like, I was already doing my monologue, and my monologue is loose. So it's like I go off of what they're giving me. Like,
Right.
I have a set thing I wanted to say. And some customers, they just want to be there. They just hear it. I just go through the monologue and then send them on their way. And then if they give me, like, somebody's real terrified, I'll break off on this monologue. It's like I have, I'll ask them stuff, and it's like I can go this way with it or I can go that way with it. So I'll start doing it. But when it broke, I was like, okay, scrap all this.
Right.
So I picked on every single person in that group. As a group, I was messing with them together. I get to a point where I didn't even realize what time it was. I just realized that
yeah.
door
wow.
we're still angled.
Right.
So I was
Yeah.
waiting for the airbags to go down and then the door so we can open the door. So I was like, until that happens, I have you. I didn't even realize the time until somebody told me, yo, you was in there for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like scaring. I didn't even realize it.
Damn.
I was just in my haunt character. Like when I go in my haunt character,
Yeah.
that is me.
I feel
That
that.
is not.
Yeah, same.
That's not a character that I play. No, that's
Yep.
just me playing me.
Yeah, you're like at home in the shower, like,
Oh, all the time.
still doing your
I'll
character
I'll
voice.
be in full costume, full makeup, but I won't have that mask on.
Yeah.
That's the one last piece that I put on for the night. And as soon as that comes on, man, it's 100% Wizzo. There's
Right.
no pulling.
Right.
There's no, hey, Eric, where you at? Nope, there's no Eric. It's just Wizzo.
It's Wizzo.
Yeah.
It's Karan.
100% Wizzo is there and in
100.
charge running around.
That's exactly how I am with mine. I'm like, it came to a point with that character. It's like it's not a character anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just me dialed to 100.
Right?
It's like that's just how I am.
You just took the filter off.
Yep.
The human filter.
The
You're like, oh, yeah, here.
Now I'm just gonna say everything to scare you.
Yep. Have you found it hard? You've been haunting for a while and kind of seen like a difference in haunt customers as far as what they're scared of. Have you found it harder now to scare people like the younger crowds versus 10, 15 years ago?
With kids now, because all the movies and people are like embracing the horror movies and stuff like that, it's harder to scare some kids because they'll look at you and start smiling, and I'm like,
right.
and I use that sometimes, like your kid is smiling at me, but you're not. Why are you scared? And he's not. He's more of a man than you. Like I'll go into
Yeah.
tangents like that.
Right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
But like with kids, yeah, it's a little bit harder to scare kids now than it used to be, especially if you're in a clown.
Yeah.
It's a lot more kids nowadays are not scared of clowns.
Yeah, they
it's more
love
of the
clowns.
adults
Yeah.
that are still clear because they Clowns from Outer Space,
Terrifier,
Yeah.
Terrifier.
See, like
Art
my
Clown-
talk
it's-
about clowns. My sister, when we were kids, we watched It, like the original It. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? Before we went to a birthday party that day.
Oh
wow.
wow!
So the clown walked, and she freaked. I remember the
Lost it.
lost it, dude. We were probably like, I don't know, 7 or something like that. You know, she just lost it. But me, I was like, oh, hey, it's a clown. You know, but still to this day, she does not like clowns because
Oh, nice.
of that movie
Yeah.
when we were kids.
Yep.
So it might have to do something like when you're a kid, you know, you watch something scary, it's just kind of implanted into your
Yep.
brain.
With
Yeah.
adults, it's to me it's easier to scare adults now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like back then. Yeah, they'd be like, oh okay, they just walking through. They see it. Yeah, you got some scares. It was a little bit harder to scare. Now,
Right.
nah, it's
Yeah.
way easier to scare adults.
Yeah, it's
now.
almost like the whole crowd flip flop. And,
Yeah.
and I started to notice that. That's why I wanted to ask you if you maybe took notice to it. And Chris, I wanted to ask you too, because like I've noticed it over the past couple of years. Like when I first started haunting back in like 2099, like 99
Right.
and 2000, it was way different. Like the kids were super easy targets. You know, adults were super hard to get. And now it's completely opposite. And I'm like,
Right.
what happened? Like,
because like nowadays, like kids, they watch all these movies now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like adults are letting their kids watch horror
Yeah.
movies and rated R movies and stuff like that. Back then, no, that was a
Well,
taboo. You couldn't do that.
Yep.
You're not gonna let your 6-year-old kid watch Jason.
Well,
yeah,
Friday
like
the 13th.
my mom
I think
refused to
that
tell.
has to do with like the streaming platforms, you know. What I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's the same thing with
It's
the internet.
widely
available.
available.
Like
Yeah.
when we grew up, like when I grew up, the internet was there, but it was like there wasn't Netflix,
Right.
There wasn't Hulu.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
you still
saying?
went to the video
But
store.
you
You
went
still
to
had to rent the
Blockbuster, you
video,
went to
right?
yeah,
And
Hollywood
you had to be
Video, you
18 to
went-
rent the
Right.
the horror
And, I mean,
movies.
I
and-
watched some horror movies
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
my dad and stuff like that when I was a kid. That I probably should.
but that's all up to your parents, and,
right.
And,
But now it's like it's just not.
You can
filtered
just click
out.
on any streaming
So-
service. They have a horror section, and it's just
yep,
Yeah,
hundreds of
like for
movies.
instance, a 7-year-old can run across Terrifier.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, this is
and then
the
they're like,
sickest
"Oh
thing
yeah,
ever.
clowns, yeah,
Yeah.
neat."
Neat.
You know, and then you go to the haunt and you see the same clown, and you're like, "Huh, clown, neat."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Wait a minute, what is wrong with this kid? Like,
I
why
had-
is he not?"
Right.
I had one kid was run into the elevator, hug my leg, and I'm like, I don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do.
It's like their parents could be, oh, I'm so sorry. He just ran ahead of us. It's like,
You're just
"Oh,
like,
it's fine.
ugh."
I'm gonna take him. He's mine now. I'm going to
mine
kill
now."
him. I'm gonna eat him up, and then I'm gonna blame you because you left your kid. So I just went off of that. But
Right.
the instant that the little kid hugged me, I'm like, not supposed to touch the actors, but this is a little kid, and I'm like, I don't know
Do I
what to
throw
do.
him? Do I throw
Just
him, or
throw
do
him.
I look at him?
Just throw him. Just throw him against the wall. He'll splat.
Hey, parent, trust fall.
Yeah.
Here's your kid back.
Kids are still bouncy. You can just like bounce them down the hall or something.
Aim for the soft spot on their head.
We're totally kidding. Don't throw kids down halls. Jesus.
He's not
What's
kidding.
wrong with you?
He's not kidding.
Oh Lord.
But no, I had a little kid. We saw it at OKC. It was
Yeah.
a little kid dressed up as Art the Clown,
Yeah.
Oh.
and I'm like, how does this kid know about
Yep.
Terrifier?
Yeah.
The other
I
kid
was
was
like-
Leatherface.
Yeah, I was like,
My best
how-
friend, he dressed up as Leatherface for the costume
Yeah.
contest. We had a pyramid head
Oh, that's
at the
cool.
contest.
Pyramid Head.
yeah.
Oh, amazing!
Like it was crazy the amount of like horror characters. Like you
Yeah.
would figure little kids would be like the Five Nights
like
at Freddy's stuff.
ninja.
Yeah, like a scary ninja,
Yeah.
scary pirate,
Right.
you know, zombie.
Right.
No, these kids like came hitting hard. Like
Iconic
no,
characters.
I'm like an actual horror character. I'm like, yeah.
And I
these
talked
kids
to
are
some
awesome.
of the, I
You're
talked
like,
to some
"What
of
are
the
you?"
parents. They were like, it was their idea. It
Yeah.
wasn't theirs. I was like, I thought it was just the parent just throwing stuff. No, they wanted to be
Are
that
you
character.
a deadite from Evil Dead?
Yeah, like the kids
Yeah.
are like, no, my parents are gonna dress like me, and I'm like, wait, what? All right,
Yeah.
but it's I don't know. I like seeing the young kids come up, and if they're not scared, that's cool. At least they're getting ideas on what we're doing.
Yeah.
They're seeing what we're doing. They're seeing the character building, and maybe that's where haunts are going towards is more movie style, where they because I've noticed that a lot. I just watched a video today about a haunt in Tennessee, and it looks like little movies. You know, like they're 30-minute movie sets, and I'm like,
Oh,
holy
like
shit!
what was it? 13 Gate? Or
Yeah,
something
13
like that.
Gate.
They had like some really good sets. Oh, their London set. Oh,
I just
right.
the one in Tennessee, they had one. It was like an underwater thing. It was like pirates and stuff, and it
That's
looked
cool.
like you just jumped on a pirate ship. And I'm like,
Wow.
what the hell?
like, man, we-
Like, damn, okay. I like this.
Step our game
and
up a little
yeah,
bit.
and I'm thinking
I
that's
was
like,
like,
maybe
whoa.
what these kids are thinking more is, I need a storyline. You know, what can I get into from the minute I walk into this haunt to the minute I leave? Does it tell me a story? Does it freak me out a little bit? Am I going to get confused? Am I going to be wondering about this haunt and look up their information in the off season to see if they're building the story more? You know, that kind of thing. That's what I'm looking for in a haunt, and I think that's what these kids are looking for. They need stuff. You know, to keep their mind going. And if you're just going to all these kids, they're like, yeah, fuck off.
Yeah,
My
right.
dad does that to me in the house. You know,
Yeah.
like
So now you got to step it up a little.
yeah,
bit.
like just because we're in a costume doesn't mean we're not doing the same stuff mom and dad are doing to them at the house. So if they're coming and they're young, I mean, I hit them with some weird shit.
Oh,
You know,
might
they're
as
like,
well.
they look at my
Yeah.
machete and they're like, oh, that's fake. And I'm like, I hit it against the ground and it sparks. And I'm like, really? And they're like, oh shit, it's real. And I'm like, yeah.
Like when I'm in the line, I used to bring like little trinkets, little toys
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
for the little kids, because I noticed that they're scared or anything
Right.
like that. So I'll go up to them and was like, "Here's a little bouncy ball," because I buy it from our gift shop. Like
Right.
every day, I went and bought some gifts for kids,
Right.
and I was like, "You're scared. Here's a ball," but I was like, "If I find it in there, I'm gonna make your parents disappear." I said that to kids, and they always like. Put it right in their pocket,
Yeah.
and they was like, and I ran into another group outside, and he was like, "I still have it. I still can take it from you. If I take it from you now, that means you lost it, so I get to take your parents." Right back in their pocket, and they took off to the car. And I was like, I'll mess with the kids, but it calms them down, like giving them
Yeah.
little trinkets, little toys. I gave them a glowworm at one point, and this kid like was in love with that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. And so they didn't lose it in here because I didn't want to go finding all those damn shits because they'll stop me from doing it. And I was like, if you do it, I will make that person disappear, and that looks like your favorite parent. No, that's not my. I like my dad. I'm like, ooh, I just started something.
Right?
It's a dad, but well, I'll take him too.
Yeah, I think
It's awesome.
I'm gonna steal a little page out of your book, and I think this year I started getting buttons for the competition
Yeah.
this year, and I was giving them out at the con and everything, and the kids really loved it. So I think I'm gonna bring that aspect back to my character this year because I'll be out on the line a little bit also. So I think I'm gonna bring them in my little
Yeah, I need to
little
get like a
penguin
little
bag, and
pouch.
I'm gonna give them out, to some
That's
kids
what I
and
do.
stuff. And if you're feeling a little uncomfortable, maybe a Wizzo pin will help you out.
Mm-hmm.
You got your imaginary friend walking with you in the haunt, and see if that helps.
Oh, I
you.
used to send them to Hellscream. Was like,
Yeah, I
give
had
you a
one.
ball. Yeah,
One kid came through and was like, "Karan said to give this to you," and I was, and they were like, "Are you Wizzo?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Karan said to give this ball to you," and I immediately went after the kid, and I was
Yeah.
like, "That's not what's for me!" And I like
Yeah.
chased the kid with the chainsaw, and he's like running and he's screaming. He's like, "Karan lied to me!" As he's running out, and I'm dying. I'm like, "Oh man, I didn't even know he was going to do that."
No.
But the kid came in
So
and immediately
funny.
I was like, "Yeah, we're playing off this one."
Yeah.
And that
I
kid
sent
was
so many
scared
people over
shitless.
to Hellscream with that stuff,
Yeah.
man. Like, find a clown with a chainsaw and give this to him.
And that's what we got to do too. Like incorporate both haunts. We're sister haunts, So
Right.
why not play off
Play-
of each
yeah.
other a little bit? Do our stories have to match up? No. He's got a time traveling Riptide. Wizzo is now time traveling this year, so maybe those two characters
Yeah.
hit a path at one point. You know.
Right.
And Wizzo, that's where I kind of built him because I wanted him to interact with every character from both haunts. So if he's time traveling and imaginary, he can kind of fit
Kinda
with
works.
it.
Kinda works.
He'd at least see somebody at least once every once in a while,
Right.
So I don't know. I like that aspect, but I love that you built this Quran character into something that he is now. And like I said, like you said, this year he's got the big horns, he's got big,
Big
wings.
wings.
He's going to be a big presence
Well,
in
I
the
had
line.
Right.
I gotta make it a big present because,
Yeah.
like I said, this year they made me the lead character.
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Same as the doctor for Hellscream.
Yeah.
and I was
Right.
like, oh, when they gave me that, I was like, okay,
Yeah, you can't come out in like a piece of.
like some,
You can't have a tinfoil
You can't wear
hat.
just a
Gotta be-
mask. You
No,
gotta,
you can't-
You gotta be
yeah.
impressive.
Right.
You gotta show. You gotta show.
You got to
that.
show
You gotta
off,
do it. So-
like what is Hellscream
And the best part
representing,
is, that's my character, and Hellscream Entertainment even said it. Like, no, Kamran is your character.
Right.
It's not ours. We're just using them. And I was like, as long as we agree with that, hell yeah, I would do it. I'll do whatever you need me to do. If you
Yeah.
want to put me on some merch and do the stuff, make a backstory that add to my backstory,
Right.
add
Yeah.
more complex with it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It's gonna be an interesting season this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited for it.
I'm really looking forward to it.
A couple weeks out.
50,
Yeah.
I think it's 16 days
Yeah.
until we open up.
For y'all
before
open-
we open up Hellscreen.
We
and
open
then
a
7
week.
I think you
after
guys are
y'all.
like 23 days or
Yep.
something. Yeah.
I'll be coming to y'all opening. I'm gonna bring some
Yeah,
people.
Should.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
You
be
should
there.
see if you can come act with us too. That'd be cool. Yeah.
I mean, we get to go act with them on
I mean-
the last weekend, so
Yeah.
Jesse, get with me. That's a
I mean,
possibility,
why
man.
not?
The big-
You
in the
know?
line.
Yeah,
In the line.
yeah. You can fit in our house.
I know,
Hey,
right?
our rooms are too small.
That'd be great though, because you could take up a whole room.
I mean,
and that'd be
the wine
that'd be-
cellar. You just own the whole wine cellar.
That's true, but
Well,
I'd
what
rather
I'm
be
saying is,
outside.
like,
Right?
the upstairs hallway though, like when
Yeah.
you first come
Oh
up,
my God.
you could open up there in that hallway
Mm.
and probably go
Ooh.
room to room, and so that they have nowhere to go. You're
Literally just
like,
block the
Just follow the
whole
whole
yeah,
hallway.
so you're just
Yeah.
like looking down on them, like
I like that. I like that.
That'd be great.
That'd be interesting. Hey,
Yeah.
Jesse,
Or we could
hit
get you
me
on.
up,
We could
man.
get you
I
on a
might.
harness system and like dangle you over the
the
stairs.
stairs.
Just have you
That's a
fly
no.
down from the
I hope
ceiling.
you're not
That's a
afraid of
no.
heights. It's just gonna be made.
Unless
out
we
of,
get
like,
some professionals to rig
I'll
that
rig it up
ain't
for you.
that.
I got you.
You ain't a professional,
It's-
homie.
It's fine.
sorry.
We're just gonna use.
I'm a
string from the
professional
dollar
idiot, it's
store.
okay.
Halfway through, it breaks and I break my neck. All right.
That's fine. It's just gonna be string and duct tape. from
Yeah,
the dollar
exactly.
store.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I'm good to go.
The hunters,
That's the worst
every
that can
hunt
happen.
needs duct
Dollar
tape.
store duct tape.
Yeah.
Duct tape and string to hold a 260-pound demon, not including the weight
Right.
of the wings and of the feathers.
Yeah,
and all
those
that
ain't light either.
Yeah.
Let's just say that right now. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I helped him put these wings on a couple times over
Yeah.
the past couple weeks. They're like 20-pound fucking wings,
Yeah.
so it's not like it's
So-
like just like a real light thing that you're throwing on.
And
either.
that convention proved that, man, I can do it,
Yeah.
but it put so much pressure on my shoulders.
Right,
Like, I wore it for
right.
the entire con.
Yeah.
Like, I had it on, never took it off. People were saying, you can take it off. No.
I was actually very
People love the
impressed that
wings.
he,
I'm not.
Yeah.
had it on the whole time.
Like, for both days, the entire time I had those wings on. Then when I took them off, it was like, all right here.
Yeah.
Like, having a backpack on for too long, it was just
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
All the weight was right here.
Yeah, my
I'm like,
mask,
ooh.
because of the weight of the
Yeah.
silicone on the back, it makes my neck hurt.
Oh.
And so by the end of the night, I'm like, man, my neck hurts because it's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how that mask has to weigh like 5 pounds. Or
I don't
something.
know how half you guys wear half the shit
And
that
it's
you
just,
do.
like,
Like I
so
wear just
heavy.
that little spirit
part
mask
of it,
with
though.
one elastic band, and I'm like,
Yeah.
by the end of the night, I'm ready to like rip the skin off the back of my head because of it. And I'm like, these guys are wearing like full prosthetics and all
Right.
this other shit, and I'm like, there ain't no
It's
way.
art, man. It's part of it. You don't want to half-ass it. You want to
Like I used to wear a silicone
impress.
mask for 1 year, and I fucking hated it. I was like, nope, never again.
Oh, there's a reason why I don't do my clown that much.
And then I started doing
That
like
whole
just
silicone
makeup,
mask.
and I taught myself makeup. I had makeup teams help me, and that's all I did for years was makeup. And it wasn't until COVID when I actually had to wear a mask again, and I was like,
Right.
I ain't wearing a full ass mask. We're wearing something
Oh,
cheap.
no, yeah. A lot of the make like that's how when COVID happened, we all had to do our own makeup. That's why I was like with shout out to Dolores, Aura, fucking Bonnie, Lacey. They all helped me.
Yeah.
Even Miranda. They all helped me with how to do my makeup. Like I've never done my own makeup before because all the other haunts they had their own makeup teams
Right.
and stuff. So they had to show me little tricks and stuff like that and how to make this look darker, this look creepier. And I was just going off of them, and I was like, thank y'all for that because
Yeah.
without them, my makeup would have been like completely shit.
Right.
I've learned
Couldn't
quite a
believe
few
it.
tricks and tips from the makeup
Yeah.
teams. Like I knew a little bit. I do art, so I knew like color theory and stuff like that. But like
Yeah.
adding it to makeup is something completely different.
Completely.
And I had no idea what the hell I'm doing. I'm just like, yeah, red and blue.
Back in the day at Hellscream, we used to have Paul Mitchell. They would come in and help do makeup, like the
Oh, wow.
girls that were in cosmetology
Yeah,
school.
they did
come
that
and help.
for us last year.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
They was at Fear
That's
Conference
right.
last
That was
year.
his last
Yeah.
year.
So yeah, and they used to do that at Hellscream too. And
Nice.
some of those girls are like, this is so wild.
You kind of wonder, like, are you putting glam makeup on me, or are you doing
Glam
actual
haunt.
horror?
There
Yeah,
you go.
I'm
they-
like,
A lot of them were like, can I do your makeup? No. No. No.
Glam
I'm
haunt.
sorry. Now I do it myself now. I'm like, I don't really want anybody doing my makeup, but
I like
me.
to look like a, like
There's
a
only a few that I
6-year-old
trust.
drunk kid did my makeup. That's what Wizzo wants. He wants like that 6-year-old drunk kid
Oh, okay.
style, like just a sketch, like, oh yeah, there's my makeup, you know. Oh,
All right.
Lord.
Well,
About that time?
yeah, I think
About
so.
that time.
Cool. I think
Well,
that's an
thank you, sir,
episode.
for coming on
Yeah.
and
Anytime.
sitting with
Thank
us
you.
and bullshitting.
This is
and
fun. Anytime.
telling
man.
us about
I
Little
love
Quran.
this.
I think once we get through pretty much like both houses, I think we might start recycling some
Yeah,
characters
we'll
and
have some
actually like
repeats.
get you guys come back as your character and maybe
Right.
talk to us
Just
as
let me
your
know. I
characters
would-
and stuff. And
Yeah.
You know I do that.
Oh,
Come on.
yeah.
We do that when we're just chilling.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
But I think that'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
Get everybody back in and maybe piece together some of this backstory that
Yeah.
that Hellscream Entertainment has started to build, and maybe start the backstory for Fear Complex.
Yeah.
like we already
because it's kind of
we-
loose.
We
you know?
are no, we got some ideas
Yeah.
of what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
Like the one time me and Jesse got to it, we
Yeah.
Getting it
got
together.
something for this. We got
Well,
something
maybe
for this building.
well, maybe after the season we'll have to do it, and then that way
yeah.
we got the whole story, and then we can get that going.
Right.
Definitely.
Hell yeah!
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thank
you
y'all for
appreciate it.
having me. I appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Thanks.